Welcome to your astrology and spirituality overview for Sunday, the 22nd of November. Today we're using the Angel Dreams Oracle cards to see what our subconscious mind is letting us know.
Wow, one comes straight out.
The card that comes up says, be willing to forgive. It says, ask the angels to clear your mind and body of past pain in exchange for peacefulness. Often when we think of the word forgiveness, the reason it can be so tricky is because forgiving somebody or a situation doesn't mean that we condone it. It's not a free ticket, to say to somebody, well, I'm okay with what you did. Forgiveness is more releasing the pain that comes with that. It frees ourselves in a way from holding on to that. And so it is a journey to go through that state of forgiveness. But I feel like when we've been hurt by someone or a situation, there comes that point where that pain is not so pointed anymore. And that, I feel, is when that healing and forgiveness is really starting to take root.
That's absolutely lovely. One of the things that I've started to think about more about some of those painful events in my background and situation is actually the people who may have inflicted that behaviour on me were actually in quite a lot of pain themselves, which meant that informed and influenced their attitudes towards me. And to see that that was a dilemma, or they didn't have that level of consciousness at that time, or were hurting, and that made them react in a way which wasn't necessarily particularly pleasant. And that also, I think, helps to provide, or has been helping to provide, some healing, I hope, towards myself. But it's interesting because the sun, of course, has just moved into Sagittarius, and it's actually angling in a right angle with Pisces. So we have a quarter moon. And this is a backdrop that lasts for the next week, but obviously its influence will peak today and it will decline as the days go on. But what I would say this is about is that it can heighten sensitivities, because Pisces energy is what's hidden. It is the 12th zodiac sign, and the 12th house can be about hidden enemies, or those painful memories, or perhaps our anxieties, the more subconscious or shadow side of life. But the sun in the wonderful Sagittarius is very much about shining that frank, thrusting, bright light. And so together it can amplify our emotions quite a lot. And someone could confront us with a view of us that's very different from our own view of ourselves over the next week, which we do find difficult to necessarily see the same way. Or it could be that we just feel much more sensitive in how we experience life. So I do think that the card, when you pulled that straight away, I thought that obviously the ruler of Pisces is, or one of the two rulers of Pisces is Neptune, very much to do with healing, spirituality and growth.
And not suppressing those feelings, because they find a way to bubble up. And, you so wonderfully put it, it's that shining that light, bringing those things up and looking at them and seeing them from all different angles. Someone once told me when I was having a nightmare that, I think it might have been you actually, to try and see every character in that nightmare as an aspect of ourself. And I just thought that was fantastic, because it's like if we see all of those things, it can help us decipher and pick apart what's really going on through our grieving processes.
Yeah, because it's all to do with the relationship that we have to a particular situation. Like, for example, President Trump has a different reality to the proposed President-elect Biden. And that may not be a great example, but certainly there's a relationship to the reality that they don't share at the moment. And of course there is the physical truth, which is factual, but it's actually what we perceive. And that actually can be very different to the physical truth. So, but generally I think over the next week, there could be a heightened sensitivity. And even if you're someone who's pretty good at sort of turning the other cheek, if someone says something that you find a little hurtful, I think it could go under the old guard for all of us over the next week.
Bear that in mind. Well, thank you so much for joining us here today. Have a wonderful Sunday. And if you would like to read your daily horoscope, you can find that in the description box beneath this video.
Thank you so much, Elisa. And if you're yet to subscribe to our channel, we'd be honoured if you did so now. please click or tap on the bell notification symbol, because that means you'll be alerted every time we drop a new video. But for now, from the A team, it is
goodbye from me.
And it's goodbye from her. Goodbye.